Gorth opened his eyes weakly. Oh no, where was he now? He rose and padded around the room. This was strange. He watched the footprints that his feet made in the carpet. Footprints? He pinched himself. Ouch, that was a bit too hard. But at least he proved he had a body again. Computer? He spoke into the sleeve of his spacesuit. Spacesuit? Oh, praise the green jam monkey of Marmalade 11, he was whole again. There was, however, the issue of why he was whole again, and possibly even another issue of where he was whole again. Hello, you, said a sibilant voice.
Well, who the hell is that guy? Let's move on. Did you see what the batshit crazy old bitch did yesterday?
Oh, I know. I've seen her.
Oh, shut up, you cancer-breathing microwave. No one wants to hear it from you or your toasted brain.
Hey! Watch it with the toasting remarks.
Oh, hello, you, said Gorth. Then he stopped himself. This was a bit weird, even for him. Everything in here was talking. All of a sudden, a hole in the ground in Siberia was looking like a very good idea. Look, do you know who I am? Said Gorth. You are Gorthlingus the Cunning, notorious criminal, hardened desperado. Well, yes, said Gorth, slightly mollified. Do you know why I'm here? You mean you don't? Well, no. She brought you here. For once, mercifully, everything in the room stopped talking. She being, said Gorth hopefully, Shirley Seabass SETI. This is her torture room. Oh, now that makes sense, said Gorth. So you must be the torture carpet, I'm assuming. Exactly. You'll crack. Trust me, you'll crack. Wow, talking carpet. That was really impressive. Apart from the eerie tones of being trapped in a manic home base, of course. Are you sentient? Gorth was forced to ask. Am I sentient? I've got 3 years of medical school, said the carpet, before I had to leave and get a proper job. As a carpet? No, I used to be a chiropractor, but I had to give it up. You didn't have any hands? No, I failed the final exams, had to quit, got a paying gig, you know. Anyway, here I am. This is not about me, though. This is about you, said the carpet. You're in a lot of trouble. By the way, said Gorth, where actually is here? You mean you really don't know, said the carpet. You really don't know where you are. You really don't know who's captured you. And you really don't know what they're going to do to you. Nope, said Gorth. That's about the size of it. Well, look out of the window. Gorth glanced out of the porthole. Oh dear, he said. So I'm on a spaceship. Her spaceship, said the carpet. And she wants to torture you, said the carpet. Until, said Gorth, until she gets what she wants, which is, of course, the eye of the storm. Oh, I don't know where that is, said Gorth. It's probably somewhere down there. But look, he added, I'm all for mindless violence, but frankly here it doesn't seem to be having any results. I have no idea why everything on this floating IKEA in space can talk, but if anything else here does talk, that shouldn't talk, I'm going to hit it. Do we all understand? You can't hit a carpet, came the prissy reply. Yes, said Gorth, but you can beat one. Hello, Gorth. Everything else in the room fell silent as Shirley swept in. Oh, hello, Shirley. I was just... Oh, Gorth also fell silent as he realised just how much trouble he was in. Traffic's terrible out there, said Shirley, nodding towards the porthole. You, by the way, are worth a lot of money to me. She smiled menacingly and pulled a mint humbug from her handbag. It was covered in fluff from the inside of her bag and 2 quite large cockroaches. Mint? She offered. No, thank you. Gorth took in the 2 bugs struggling weakly on the surface of the sweet. I'm trying to give them up. You said I was worth a lot of money. Oh, am I? Yes, you are. Dead. Oh, there was not a lot Gorth could say to that. It was just the kind of week he was having. You have been like these bugs just recently, Gorth. Have I? Said the little blue alien. Yes, you have. You've been annoying more people than normal. Do you have any idea why you are still alive and still in my torture room? Shirley waved her arms expansively, pulling on the yellow rubber glove, and everything began bowing and scraping in her direction. This is a torture room? That was when Gorth noticed it fully. Yeah, perhaps she was right. Yes, every self-centered, narcissistic creature like you that enters finds his self-obsession reflected back at him. Oh, I thought I was in one of those places that you rent by the hour. No, this room reflects the turmoil of your inability to form an adult relationship. Really? Gorth looked around with renewed interest. So I am supposedly in... You are in soul-searching anguish right now, in 0 gravity. Oh, okay. This takes how long? Gorth shrugged his shoulders and grinned at Shirley. Shirley Seabass swept into the middle of the room. Oh, forget it, she muttered. Men. I don't know why I bother going to all the expense of psychological drama, fire and 0 gravity. I try to move away from it, but honestly, it's all you lot seem to understand. I mean, look at the floral patterns on these curtains. Hello, the curtains rustled cheerily. Can you see how it clashes with the chintz of the sofa? Can you? Can you? Well, no, not really. Gorth felt a bit like a beach jellyfish here. Interior furnishings, making him choose cushion covers. Now that was his idea of hell. It was making him quiver all over. Shirley, this soul-searching anguish. Yes, Shirley almost purred. Now she was getting to him. It seems to have passed me by a bit. You cannot be that shallow. There are dung beetles that are more sensitive than you. There are jellyfish. There are medusas that have more emotional vibrancy. Oh, thank you very much. How can you take any sort of pride in that? Shirley tried not to look shocked, but this creature was beyond the pale. By now he should have been writhing on the floor, wibbling about his childhood and how nobody understood what a deeply sensitive soul he was. But no, he was fighting. He was more cunning than she had first thought. Yeah, it must be awful, Gorth agreed. So, what can I do for you, Shirley? First, you can tell me everything you know. Oh, righto. Well, I was left in a carrier bag outside Aldi when I was 11. The next thing I know, not that. The eye of the storm, you idiot. I want to know where it is, and I want to know who that Dasher was. Is there anything else? Because I can't really tell you either of those things. Good, said Shirley menacingly. I was hoping you'd say that. She held a picture up of Daniel's dad. Let's start off then with who is this? And if you don't tell me, by the way, she grinned again, I'm going to get medieval on your blue furry behind. Meanwhile, in Paris, Daniel's dad stepped on board the Windy Susan with a certain amount of trepidation, his boss's words still ringing in his ears. I don't want to mention the word slacking, she had said. Thank you, he had said. So I won't. It's a word right up there with inept, or even incompetent, and my personal favourite, stupid. So none of those will come up, even in the light of you missing that flight to America. Thank you again. Daniel's dad had smiled. This might not be as bad as he had thought. Are you coming to the bingo tonight? Daniel's dad was nodding at the captain. What is it with you British? All the glories of the Seine River, and you want to play bingo? Shall I save you a table? Go on then, the captain smiled. These British, that was the unluckiest man he had ever met. and he still wasn't going to give in. Bingo, Jean-Philippe smiled to himself. This must be an example of that famous British stiff lower lip. Meanwhile, in Turkey, Daniel suddenly woke up. Oh no. Custard? Can you hear me? Charlotte? Is anybody around? Hello? Hello, Daniel. Can you hear me? Custard, what's going on? She has him. She has him off the planet somewhere. I don't know what we're going to do now. I've tried to contact him every way I know how, said Custard. Subspace phones, hypergalactic email, everything. I even tried an Uchmiklurcher's bird. Oh, what? Daniel had heard of tweets. It was that they were apparently very popular with footballers who liked the minimal grammar and the minimal spelling and the lack of content. But he'd never heard of this. It lives on the planet which was reformed from a collapsed star. The gravity there is so strong, every time it takes off from a tree, it lands on its clutches, which are, well, they're sort of in the groin area. It has the largest reproductive organs of any bird in the dangle cluster. Its tweet, or its cry of pain, is so intense that you can tap into it to send short messages which can be heard across the galaxy. And you sent one of these tweets? Oh yeah. What did it say? Well, you have to be short. The cry of pain is so intense, it only crosses time and space for a matter of seconds. You have to get it just right, hit it when the bird hits the ground. The physics involved in warping the space-time continuum to allow the message to cross the galaxy and go back in time as well, are more complex than learning where the verb goes in German. So what did the note say? Well, it said, curried hazelnut Pop-Tarts for dinner. It was primarily for Gorth. Did you get it? Custard sounded surprisingly hopeful. No, said Daniel. Anyway, so then I left a milk bottle outside the spaceship with a note in it. Custard added this last part even more hopefully. That really was the last shot. Then I realised that all the Ouchmeklurcher's birds are migrating right now, and they're falling out of the trees by the hundred, so I'm piggybacking the message under all those cries of pain. Amazing. Custard, yeah, why are we here in Turkey? It's something to do with this war that's taking place. The Eye of the Storm wants us to see something and we keep missing it. Which war is it? This is one of the many little wars that have been fought on this planet. The computer began importantly, ignoring the huge sigh from Charlotte and the fact that Daniel began to wander away. Look, I may just be a disembodied solid-state machine, in a different time zone, but I do have feelings. I had thought, said Charlotte, that the best thing about being dead would be the lack of lessons. Charlotte had crossed her arms again, which is never a good sign with her. Not very relevant to me, in my condition. Well, if you choose not to listen to my advice, Custard was putting on his sage old being's voice, I have much to teach you, young one. Oh, all right then, get it over with, Obi-Wan Toaster. Give us the history lesson if you must. Thank you. Well, approximately 12.8 billion years ago, all matter... Woo, said Charlotte, not that much of a history lesson. Can we start a little bit closer to home, like about yesterday? You want it more concise than this? You have 60 seconds. Daniel thought Charlotte was being a little harsh, but then he saw her expression and realised that she maybe had another level of harshness to go. Maybe even two. Oh, right. Well, anyway, just after Gorth and I arrived on Earth, 6 years ago actually, the most destructive war this planet had ever fought was taking place. It wasn't you, was it? Daniel could think of no way that Gorth could have caused World War I, but thought it was best to ask. No, blimey, for once it wasn't us. Anyway, this Great War it was called, and there was another one just after it. The Greater War, said Charlotte, haphazardly. No, not really. It's called the Second World War. Oh. So this little war we are stuck in right now is one of the many that broke out after the Great War ended. This one's between the Greeks and the Turks. This is 1922, Common Space Era. We're here in the past, but ahead of where we were when we landed. Gorth said that you crashed. Landed the Creme Anglaise. I landed the Creme Anglaise, almost exactly where the captain wanted to be, quite close to when he wanted to be. Almost. Give or take about a century, and roughly 4,000 kilometres. Anyway, all these peasants that you can see, they must be part of it. This is why we keep seeing them. said Custard, will be very hard on the peasants on both sides. Turks who live in the Greek part, Greeks who live in the Turkish part, they're all going to get swapped backwards and forwards. The Turks will win in the end. They will drive the Greeks back to the sea at a place called Smyrna. That's a coastal town on the Aegean. That's where we went. That's where we first saw the dreams first started there. That's where we saw the Eye of the Storm. Exactly. But this Eye of the Storm, said Charlotte, will it look like a big golden globe of some sort? Probably, said Custard. And will people be sort of bowing and scraping to it while it's on a table? Yes, of course. So, said Charlotte, is that it? Oh, blimey, said Custard. Follow that golden orb. That is the key to everything.